I'm really excited to have this program today. I've been working on it with them for over a year, and finally the stars have aligned, and we're able to get twin blends here. The program is by Mike and Mark Magnum. They were born in Shreveport. They've always liked U.S. history and were never really interested in local history until they got to the Northwest Louisiana Archives at LSUS, and they found pictures of the Southern Hills area where they grew up. They came across thousands of pictures in Shreveport-Bossier going back to the 1890s, and that's when they got hooked. The LSU Archives gave them permission to share on their Facebook page Twin Blends Photography, but to better describe what they do, Mark and Mike changed their name to Twin Blends Northwest History Hunters. The archives include collections from Grable, Robert Manasco, Jack Barham, and the entire Shreveport Times collection. And they were recently, if y'all follow them on Facebook, were given the Thurman Smith collection, which is thousands and thousands of pictures. And many of y'all may remember Thurman as he was a member of this club 20 and 30 years ago. And he actually took many of the pictures that are in the rosters that are 20 and 30 years old. They need seriously updating. They in no way claim to be history experts, just two guys that enjoy history and what it can bring to others. Their specialty is taking a picture of the old and blending it with the current. And their motto is you have to look to the past to appreciate the future. So please welcome Mark and Mike Magnum from Twin Blends Northwest History.
Yeah, excuse Mike. He just had knee replacement surgery. How long ago?
About 7 years ago.
7 weeks. And so that's why I'm gonna set my timer so we don't bore y'all to death. So
Thank
anyway.
you, Lawrence, for inviting us. It's been a long time coming, and we work during the week, and it just happened to be off. We were off this week.
Yeah, we worked it out. So anyway, I'm Mark Mangum. That's Mike Mangum. We're twins. I'm 3 minutes older than him, so I claim all birthright privileges. So, but being the older brother, I usually do everything. So today he's going to do most of the talking.
No, actually, we're going to do something different today. We're going to let you speak.
No.
Most of the speaking.
No, because if you'll notice on our Facebook videos, he's doing all the talking. It's because he can remember all those dates and stuff like that. And he'll say, okay, it's your time to talk. And he says, okay, when we turn on the camera, you need to say this, 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 and this. And he'll look at me and he'll say, you ain't gonna remember that, are you? No, you lost me at the second thing I was gonna remember. So I don't know how he remembers all that. But anyway, we work together good because what he's strong on, I'm weak on, and what I'm strong on, he's weak on. Anyway, it works out. So anyway, how we got started, and Lawrence went over this, we really didn't care that much about history growing up, but we always like to look at old photos, like, look back in time and say, man, that used to be here, here, and here. We grew up in Southern Hills, and we joined a Facebook page called If You Grew Up in Southern Hills, Shreveport, that's created by Mark and Barry Walker, who we didn't know at the time. We joined the page, and people were talking about things that are no longer around that they grew up remembering. And then Mike had been up to the Northwest Louisiana Archives at LSUS, found some pictures up there. So he was posting them, and people were really loving them. So we thought, well, let's go back up there and look for some more pictures of old Southern Hills. Well, Southern Hills isn't that old, so we were going to the archives, and we were finding all these old pictures of downtown Shreveport from the late 1800s, and we were just hooked. That hooked us then. So we got with LSUS Archives, and they gave us permission to use their old photos. And of course, we always give them credit. If you notice on the pictures, it'll say photos courtesy Northwest Louisiana Archives. And some people will say, why you got to have that on there? Like, because we want to give proper credit to where these pictures come from, because LSUS has done a phenomenal job of showcasing or storing these pictures, for future reference, because a lot of them are negative, in the negative form, and some of the negatives are degrading over time. So when we go up there, we digitize them, and then we've got thousands that's digitized, and we'll, make posts on it. We'll go downtown and say, this is what it used to look like. And this is what it looks like now. We tell a little bit of the history. And like I say, we're not history experts. Those history experts, Dr. Gary Joyner, the late Eric Brock,
Yeah.
Dr. Gary Joyner, Dr. Cheryl White,
Mhm.
Ernie Roberson,
Yeah.
and people like that. They're the history experts. We're just two ex-jocks that used to play ball and now we do this. But we want to bring the history to everybody in a fun and exciting way. Because you're driving downtown and people see buildings, they don't see the history, they don't see the history of the people that came before us. And that's our goal, is to honor the men and women, our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents that come before us. And a lot of these old pictures, you can see them going down the street in their everyday business, everyday lives, but that's what helped build this city. And we want to give them honor, and we feel like they've been kind of forgotten. So, but we're not going to forget them. We're going to honor them.
We like to spotlight the photographers of the past. And like I say, it's not about Twin Blends, it's about them. And what
Yeah.
we do is kind of reflect on what they did, because there's a lot of people around town that's never heard of Gray Bill, which he's very popular. But other photographers, Langston McEachern, J. Frank McEnany,
Thurman C. Smith.
yeah, some of them
Barham.
some of them work for the Shreveport Journal and Shreveport Times.
Jack Barham.
Yeah, Jack Barham. And what they do is they went around taking pictures for the newspapers, and that's all in the collections. And so you may see an article from the 1950s, and it may have one picture that was in the paper, but you don't realize for that one picture, there's 10 other ones that wasn't published, and it's all looking in different directions, and it documents history. And so when we come across an envelope, it may be just a box envelopes at the archives, and it won't be marked what it is. It'll just have a number, and we'll pull it out and we'll see, it's a negative, put it on a light source. And like we found a negative in the envelope in the Jack Barham collection with every single drive-in theater that was ever in Shreveport-Bossier. I mean, beautiful pictures, and they're stuck in the archives, hidden away, and they were degrading. And so we documented it, turned it into black and whites, and then posted it and shared it for everybody to see. And that's what we try to do,
Yeah.
try to, further the history of Shreveport
Yeah.
by showing stuff that's never been shown.
And we try to make it a little bit fun. Sometimes we'll take an old picture and we'll go back to the same location and we'll take a now snapshot, and we'll try to make it just exactly where that old photo was taken from. And we're going to have a video here in a minute that shows you a little bit of that. We put it to music, and it'll show a scene that looks like now downtown, and then it'll fade into what it used to look like. And I think that's very, very powerful, especially set to music. And it's just real sentimental, and you can see what was there that a lot of people don't see. But when we're downtown, we both have full-time jobs, but we come down on Saturdays, and this is where we do a lot of the stuff. And then we drive by, we're just like, there's Captain Shreve Hotel, there's the Washington Erie, there's Sally Grocery. And we're like, a lot of stuff that we see in our minds because we've seen so many pictures. You want to ask them if they know what?
Yeah, okay. Raise your hand if y'all know what used to sit right here back in the day. Okay, you want to tell us? Texas and Pacific
Yeah, and
Railroad Station.
I've got a picture. Y'all can come up later, but that's a Texas and Pacific Railroad Station set here.
As this was being built, the Hilton was being built.
Yeah, you can see it on the side. But anyway, we've got a couple pictures that we found at the archives, and we try to document stuff like that because, once it's gone, it's gone. And we try to document as much as we can and show the importance of saving history and saving some of the buildings. I mean, how cool would it have been if they would have saved the Washington Erie and had the museum? Or I know it would take millions of dollars, but just how cool would it be? Like that hotel in Little Rock.
Yeah, Arlington.
I mean, if they would have had the Captain Shreve Hotel, the Washington Erie there, that people could see, I just think that would have been
Show them that
amazing.
picture again. A lot of our pictures, we've gotten to where we'll start and colorize some of the old black and white pictures, because a lot of them were for the newspaper, so they're strictly black and white. But we'll add color to it, and it brings it alive. It just like the program we use is Photoshop, and it's the color, like it'll show a portrait of a guy, and you color it, and the skin color, the hair color is just spot on.
Brings it to life.
It
makes
does.
it more real. Yeah.
It does. And so that's good to be able to see that back in color, like that. So, and also right across the street used to sit the bus barn for the trolleys, the old trolleys. And before that, it was the streetcar barn. That's where the streetcars used to come out of and go up and down Texas and different.
And the Sally Grocery Center over there. But if y'all are interested, we have a Facebook page, Twin Blends Northwest Louisiana History Hunters. Go on there and you can type in Twin Blends Ford Park, Twin Blends Hamels, Twin Blends, Texas Street, and it will pull up, but we've made thousands of posts and there's thousands and thousands of pictures. Like saying, we have to really give LSUS credit for document storing these pictures, and they've been phenomenal. Matter of fact, what was it, a year ago, year and a half ago, they contacted us. They said the Robert Manasco collection that they had donated, it was in a storeroom for how many years? Like 10 years off on the side. They didn't have any resources to go through it and look through. And they asked us if we would want to do that. And we said, of course. And so we spent our vacations and the evenings or whenever the library was open, we'd go up there and we spent hours combing through. They wanted us to comb through and go look for historical important photos. There was a lot of portraits, but there was also in there a lot of pictures of downtown and places that we've never seen pictures of before. So, and these negatives were like 75, some of them were 75 years old, and they were degrading. And it was like we were digitizing them and saving them for future references. And we're going to put them on a, what is it called? A
Flash drive?
Flash drive. Well, what's the big thing called?
Hard drive.
Hard
external
drive.
drive.
Anyway, don't
You can tell who does most of the work.
So anyway, but I just come up with ideas.
Yeah, well, we'll go downtown and do stuff, and we have a drone, and he'll fly the drone sometimes, and we'll take pictures and stuff, and then it's up to me to put it all together and stuff like
But then
that.
he goes, we're gonna make a post, and he'll say, here's what I got to we need to say. And I look it over and I'm like, were you asleep in English class? It's like the comma goes here, this goes here, parentheses go. So that's what I do.
Okay, he does.
I'm like the editor, so, but I gotta admit, he does a lot of the work, but
Well, we enjoy what we do, and we're glad everybody, a lot of people do. When we first started, we didn't know if anybody was going to like what we do. We just did it because it was fun to us, and it took a while for it to catch on, and people are starting to really like it. We've got 23,000
over 23,000
followers, which we call them teammates. We hate the word followers because we're all part of a team,
Yeah.
so we call them teammates.
And we have people contact us all the time, and they say, I have tears in my eyes because you don't realize I saw this picture of H.L. Green, and me and my grandmother used to shop there. And this post brought back so many memories. And that makes our day right there. You know, and we do this, like I say, we both have full-time jobs. We do this out of our passion, but we do have Patreon account. We do have Venmo for donations, and people have done that to kind of help us further our research and buy equipment to do these posts and stuff like that. But it's our passion, like I say, to get young people and older people involved and let them see the importance of Shreveport Bossier area, you know, because they have such a rich history.
And one of our favorite things to do is what we're doing now, coming and speaking, and we speak to retirement homes and facilities. And we just love that because when we talk to them, we have people coming up and we'll have questions and answers in a little bit. But people, they ask us questions, but they'll also tell us about their stories, you know, growing up and what they remember. And like Mark said, they'll have tears in their
We'll
eyes.
stay there an hour or two just talking, listening to their stories.
And it blesses us. We're like, man, we get more out of this than y'all do, you know, so we enjoy it.
We hope we hadn't bored y'all too much, but when do you want to play the video?
I guess we're going to play a video. It's about 12 minutes long. And like I say, then we can talk a little bit more and answer questions and stuff like
I say,
that.
we're not history experts. So when was this built and when was it? It's like, he may know it, but I know I won't know it.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we're going to show the video, and at the front, what it'll show scenes of Shreveport, and you may recognize it, and then it'll transition into the older picture from the same spot. And at the very end, we have old pictures, just old pictures. And
Yeah, who remembers Ford Park in Shreveport? Okay, good. That's good. At the very end, we've got a little video of Ford Park that a guy sent to us. It's from 1966, and it's Color Home Movies, and it's Storyland in there. So
he found it in his dad's closet. His dad was stationed at Barksdale, and then they moved off. He found this. He didn't know where it was from. And he saw the train number on it. He did a research, and he come across our post that we did on Ford Park. And then he contacted us, and that put it all together. Then he realized and he said, I got color video of Ford Park. Do y'all want to, would y'all like to see a copy? We're like, of course.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's at the end of that. So,
Yeah. All right. Mike, if you want to start the video.
and I guess we'll sit down.
Yeah.
And as far as, thousands of posts on everything across the city, like, you saw, we got posts on Hamels. Not a real quick story. Last year, Carolyn Hamill Griffin contacted us and she said, I've seen your post on Hamels and I love it. Would y'all be interested in seeing my personal collection? And we're like, of course. So we went to her house. She was her and her husband, Dean, are very sweet. And she had her pool table set up with folders. It had the Buddy and Susie chimpanzee folder. It had the hippopotamus. I don't want to get it wrong.
Yeah, David P. Hippopotamus.
And then different things on the zoo and the dairy. And so we digitized all that for her and we made several posts on it. But that was just an honor to meet her. And we've made posts and I'll text her. I'll say, you've got to see all the comments people are making on this because y'all's family just touched thousands and thousands of people. And, people from all over the country, comment and say, I grew up there and visited there, and that meant so much to us. So that makes our day when we're able to get their story out and show everybody. So
yeah, and we had a couple of years ago, the Caddo Clerk of Court from Caddo Parish Courthouse, Mike Spence, they contacted us and they commissioned us to give them a bunch of pictures or sell them a bunch of pictures, and we researched.
we found at the LSUS archive.
We did a total right now of, if you go down there, there's 84 pictures in the courthouse that we've got from the LSUS archives. And that what we did is, and we've got 5 big blends of ours, and then our twin blends. That picture right there is in the courthouse also.
And then and now in the marriage room, the marriage license rooms, there's the then and now video. It's that video.
No,
there?
it's a
different video anyway. But I mean, like I say, there's 82 pictures. There's a wall of just drive-ins, like the Dawn Drive-In, the Sunset Drive-In, the Leo Drive-In, King's Drive-In.
And we feel honored to be ground zero Shreveport history to Caddo Parish Courthouse.
Yeah.
And being displayed there.
And like I say, we want to honor all the photographers that did all this, that documented it. Because without their pictures, everybody, it would just be in newspapers in words, and you really just can't see the whole picture without pictures. So anyway.
And right now, the Shreveport Times has is almost once a week, they'll have a Twin Blends History Corner. And a lot of times they'll be on the front page. So if y'all get the Shreveport Times, y'all can see that. And then we are in the SB magazine once a month
with the History Corner. And we like Ford Park was in there and different things. I think what's coming.
Something to do with Thanksgiving, I believe.
Yeah. And Christmas series.
Christmas.
Anyway, that's the one ways we can get out to everybody and show this and honor the city and honor the people that come before us. Because like I say, it's not about Twin Blends. We're just 2 guys that are spotlighting the photographers and the people of the city that came before us. Because we feel like that they've been forgotten and neglected these days. Everything's looking toward the future, which is fine. But we also need to look back at the past and see where we come from. And all the pictures, every time I see pictures of people up and down the sidewalk going about their business, I don't want them to be forgotten. I want them to really, be honored because we do owe a lot to them. So,
well, you want to spend it like, hey, it's about 12:40. We can do questions until it's time. So if y'all have questions,
and remember, we're not experts. So
if y'all have questions, Mark,
Daryl, no, we don't see Daryl. Uh-oh.
It's so nice to meet you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows who you are.
As you know,
Don't act like people don't know.
I have spent hours going over your work, and I don't do this very often. I'm a total fanboy. What you guys are doing is great. It's priceless. It's amazing. I tried to replicate it. I can come within the ballpark, but not even.
You have no idea what that means.
Yeah,
you're up here. We're down here.
Hey,
No,
real
dude.
quick, tell them about it.
I have 1,000 questions. I'm only going to ask one.
Okay.
The whole
We'll
time you've
stay
been here,
after.
I've been sitting over here editing. What am I going to say? So, with respect to your before and afters, which you just displayed so beautifully, obviously the president is the president.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, do you give yourself a window of time for your past? Like, are you going to go 2020s to 1920s, or do you have a broad timeline of what you feature from the past?
Yeah, we go back and forth.
We go back and forth. Like if something's in the news, then we like to, hey, we got pictures of that. Let's make a story on that.
Yeah.
Or if something like, hey, we haven't done this, we got so many thousands of pictures. A lot of times we think we posted it. We've never posted that before. We're like, let's do that.
Well, in other words, and another thing is, if we started from way back, we would never get 10 years in, because there's so much. Yeah.
And the last thing I'm not going to sit down is I for somebody who works in Photoshop, works in photos and all that, there are very few people who understand the commitment, the time, the tedium, the attention to detail.
Yeah.
What you guys
OCD.
do
Thank you for saying that. That bolsters what I tell you.
is
Really?
amazing.
Wow.
And thank you for
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank
Well,
so
and
much.
also we found a picture of you, didn't we? Tell them that
Well,
story.
yes.
Yeah.
I randomly showed up on Twin Blends. It was an honor. Thank you. I've saved it. I framed it. It's awesome. Thank
Well,
you, guys.
we-
Two of them, actually, Hamill's going down the log ride and groundbreaking at Smart Stadium.
Yeah, did we do? Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Daryl. Appreciate
you.
that.
I'm Joe Littlejohn. I've helped you out from time to time
Yeah.
on things downtown and the hotels and so forth. Just want to ask you two questions. First one is, what's your oldest collection that you have and how extensive is that? And when can you tell the first pictures were made in Shreveport?
That's a good question. Well, the Gray Bill has a lot, but before the Gray Bill, I forget what the guy's name was, Danby. Gray Bill had some of Danby's pictures, and his, right behind the courthouse where the Rubenstein's building is, he had a building there and it was his photograph.
Studios, yeah.
But you can tell, but the pictures how old it's because you can see, horses and wagons and stuff like that.
Sometimes the
Mud.
cars, you can tell. Of course, we'll post something. There's always this one guy. That can't possibly be this because that's this and that's this. We're like,
Yeah.
well, that's what the envelope said, you know.
But back to your question, let's show the river like steamboats.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably the oldest
Yeah.
around that. So that's what's cool.
Okay, second question somebody asked me to ask you is, how do you finance this deal?
We both have full-time jobs.
But we have
Other jobs.
we have donations
And that,
too.
like, we have a Patreon account, Venmo and PayPal, and we've had people just randomly send us donations and
From the most part, our own pockets though.
yeah, for the most part, but they'll say, they'll have a sweet letter like, oh, this meant so much to me. Thank you so much. Here's a donation.
Yeah.
And that's how we're able to go and buy lapel mics. Because the first mics we had, we would be a whole video and then people be saying, can't hear you, can't hear nothing on a Facebook Lives. And we're like, okay, we got to invest in better equipment.
Yeah.
So a lot of it comes out of our own pocket, but we do accept donations and stuff like that to help out. So. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh,
thank you.
We've
Appreciate it.
enjoyed it.
Thank you.